Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to the English Echo.
We're very happy you're here today.
Today, we're going to practice English together in a simple and relaxing way.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Sophia.
We're happy you're here today.
Let's learn together.
So I want to start today by talking about a very common feeling.
Oh, definitely.
Right? It's a feeling that almost every English learner experiences at some point. Like, many learners tell me they can read an English book without any problems.
Yes, reading is usually much easier.
Exactly. They can read the news, they understand the vocabulary, and, everything just feels easy. But then they go to a coffee shop.
Right.
They try to order a simple drink, and suddenly their mind goes completely blank. The words just won't come out. Why is there such a big difference between reading and speaking?
It's a fantastic question, and it's something I see all the time with learners. You see, when we read, our experience is very quiet and passive.
Passive? What do you mean by that?
Well, you are just receiving information. Your eyes look at the words, and your brain processes them at its own speed.
Ah, I get it. There's no rush.
Exactly. If you don't understand a sentence, you can just stop and read it again. There is no pressure at all.
That is so true.
But speaking is an active process. You aren't just receiving information anymore. You have to actually create it.
Right. You have to build the sentences yourself.
Yes. And you have to do it in real time, often while, someone is looking right at you and waiting for your answer.
That makes a lot of sense. The pressure of another person waiting for you definitely makes it harder. But even when I'm alone, if I try to speak a new language out loud, my mouth just feels strange.
Oh, yes. It can feel very unnatural.
Yeah, it feels heavy or like clumsy.
Yeah.
If I know the word in my head, shouldn't my mouth just say it naturally?
Well, not necessarily. And this is a very important point about how our bodies work. Speaking isn't just a mental activity. It's a physical activity. Your mouth, your lips, your tongue, and your throat have dozens of small muscles.
Wow, I never really thought about the muscles.
Yeah. When you speak your first language, those muscles know exactly what to do. They have practiced those specific movements every single day since you were a baby.
Right. But English sounds are totally different.
Exactly. Your tongue has to move to new places. Your lips have to make new shapes.
So it's really like learning a new physical skill, like learning how to dance or how to play a new sport.
That's a perfect way to look at it.
Because, you can watch a video of someone dancing and you can understand the steps perfectly in your head. But if you stand up and try to do it, your body doesn't know how.
Right. Your muscles haven't practiced the movements yet.
Yeah. You just trip over your own feet.
Exactly. And if you don't practice speaking out loud with your real voice, those small mouth muscles stay weak. They don't know the new dance steps.
That makes so much sense.
That's why saying words out loud is the absolute only way to build that physical memory. When your mouth learns the physical movements, your brain doesn't have to work as hard.
And then you start to think in English faster.
Yes, and your confidence naturally grows.
I love that explanation. It takes away the feeling that we're doing something wrong. It's just a physical process.
It really is.
So if a learner wants to start training their muscles and building this confidence, well, where is the best place to begin?
I always like to compare learning a language to building a house.
Building a house, okay.
It's a big project, and you have to follow the right order. Like, you can't start by building the roof.
No, that wouldn't work at all.
Right. If you try to put the roof up first, the whole house will just fall down. You must build the foundation first.
Foundation.
The bottom part.
Exactly. The foundation is the bottom part of the house. It's concrete, it's strong, and, it holds everything else up. In language learning, that foundation is made of easy, everyday sentences.
I see. So instead of trying to give a huge, complex speech on your first day, you start with the basics.
Yes.
The things we talk about every single day at home. Exactly. We start with simple routines. These sentences are the best way to warm up your mouth muscles and get your brain comfortable with the basic patterns of English.
Let's look at the morning routine as an example.
Great idea.
When I wake up, I do the same things every day. I might say I wake up at 7 o'clock, then I brush my teeth, and then I make my bed.
Very simple sentences.
Right. They're simple, but they're incredibly necessary.
They really are. Sometimes, learners feel a little impatient.
Oh, I completely understand that.
They look at a sentence like, I make my bed, and they think it's just too easy. They want to skip it and learn harder words.
But skipping it is like skipping the foundation of the house.
Exactly. Saying, I make my bed out loud helps you practice the correct sounds. It trains your mouth to feel the natural rhythm of English. You learn where to put the stress on the words.
I've noticed that when I practice simple sentences, my pronunciation actually gets much better.
Because your brain isn't worrying about complicated grammar.
Right. I can focus entirely on how the words sound. Let's explore some other phrases we hear in daily life.
Okay.
There are situations we all experience no matter where we live. For example, what happens when you wake up late and you don't have enough time to get to work?
Well, that's a stressful situation for anyone.
It really is.
In English, if you are rushing and you are behind schedule, the most natural phrase to use is, I'm running late.
I'm running late. That's such a common phrase. I know that feeling very well.
We all do.
Last week, my alarm clock didn't go off, and I had to literally run to the train station. I texted my friend and said, I'm running late.
It's much faster than saying, I do not have enough time and I will arrive after the agreed time.
Yeah, nobody talks like that when they are running for a train.
No, they don't. Yes, I'm running late is much faster, and it sounds completely natural. You can use it in almost any situation.
Like with a boss or a friend.
Both. You can say to a friend, sorry, I'm running late. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Or you can say to a coworker, my bus was delayed, so I'm running late today. It's a perfect foundation phrase.
Here's another daily situation. When we visit a new place, like a big office building or a hospital, we often need to ask for directions.
Yes, very common.
If I ask someone, where's the bathroom?
Yeah.
They usually don't give me a long list of directions. They usually give a very simple answer.
Yes. A native speaker will almost always say, it's down the hall.
Down the hall. That's a great phrase.
It simply means you go straight along the corridor.
Right. You don't need to turn left or right, and you don't go up any stairs. You just walk straight.
Exactly.
I think it's much easier for learners to hear down the hall than to process a bunch of complicated directions.
It definitely is. And this brings up an important point about real-life conversations.
What's that?
Well, sometimes native speakers talk very fast. They use phrases we haven't heard before, or, there's a lot of background noise. It's very common for beginners to miss a word.
And when that happens, learners often feel embarrassed. They freeze up.
Yes, they do.
They feel shy. And sometimes they just nod their head and pretend they understood, even when they didn't. I've done that before.
That is a very normal reaction. But pretending to understand doesn't help you learn.
True.
Instead of feeling bad, there is a very friendly and polite phrase you can use. You can say, I didn't catch that.
I didn't catch that. I really like the feeling of that phrase.
It's very gentle.
It doesn't mean I'm bad at English. It just means the information didn't reach my ears clearly. It takes the pressure off the learner.
Exactly. It puts the focus on the sound, not on your language skills. Native speakers use this phrase with each other every single day. If I'm in a loud coffee shop and someone speaks to me, I'll say, sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you repeat it? It's a great tool to keep the conversation moving without feeling stressed.
Okay, so we have built a solid foundation. We've practiced talking about our morning routines. We know how to tell someone we're running late. We can find the bathroom down the hall. And we know how to politely ask someone to repeat themselves.
We have a great base.
So what comes next?
Now that our house has a strong foundation, it's time to step outside. We leave the comfort of our home and we step out into the world.
Out into the world.
We go to work, we meet our friends, and we handle social situations.
This is usually where conversations get a little more difficult, right? At home, we're just talking about simple actions. But out in the world, we have to talk about our lives, our plans, and our feelings.
Yes, it requires a bit more.
What does a medium-level sentence look like in these situations?
A great example of a medium sentence is talking about something happening in the future or something that started in the past.
Okay, can you give an example?
Of course. You might tell a friend, I'm planning to visit my family this weekend. Or you might tell a coworker, I've been working on this project for a few weeks.
I see the difference. These sentences are a bit longer.
Yes, they are.
They use grammar that is slightly more complex, like planning to or have been working, but they're still very useful for daily life.
Exactly. They are very common.
Let's talk about some specific phrases we use with friends and coworkers. I have a good story for this first one.
Go ahead. I'd love to hear it.
A few weeks ago, I woke up with a headache. My throat was a little sore. I wasn't terribly sick, so I didn't need to go to the hospital.
Okay, just a little sick.
Right, but I definitely didn't have the energy to go to the office. So I called my manager and I said, I'm feeling a little under the weather.
Under the weather is a wonderful idiom. It's the most common way to say you are feeling mildly sick or unwell.
Why do we say that instead of just saying, I'm sick? I feel like I'm sick. Sounds a bit serious.
It can sound serious, yes.
If I say I'm sick, people might worry. But under the weather sounds soft and temporary.
That's exactly right. It's a softer, more polite way to explain why you might be resting at home or why you don't have a lot of energy today.
It keeps people from worrying too much.
Right. It tells people you aren't feeling your best, but they don't need to panic.
Here's another phrase I hear constantly at work. And I have to admit, it confused me a lot when I first started learning business English.
Oh, what is it?
The phrase is, I have a lot on my plate. When I first heard it, I pictured a person sitting at a dinner table with way too much food.
That's a very common image to have. It's a highly visual idiom.
It really is.
But instead of actual food, imagine that the plate represents your available time and energy, and the food on the plate represents your tasks and responsibilities.
Right. So if you have a lot on your plate, it simply means your schedule is completely full. You have too many things to do.
Exactly.
If my boss asks me to help with a brand new project, but I already have 3 deadlines this week, I can say, I'd love to help, but I have a lot on my plate right now.
Yes. It's a very professional way to say, I'm too busy. It sounds much more polite than just saying, I can't do it.
It shows that you're already working hard on other things.
Right. It's a great tool for the workplace. Speaking of work, sometimes a team faces a difficult problem. The usual answers just aren't working anymore.
Yeah, we've all been there.
A manager might stand up in a meeting and say, we need to think outside the box. Let's explain what that means.
Okay, so to think outside the box means to look for a creative, unusual solution.
Yes. Imagine a small box. Inside that box are all the normal rules, the old ideas, and the standard ways of doing things.
The safe things.
Exactly. If you stay inside the box, you will just keep getting the same old results.
But if you step outside the box, you are looking at the problem from a totally new direction. You are ignoring the old rules and trying something fresh.
Exactly. It's a phrase that encourages creativity and open minds.
I like that.
But sometimes when people start sharing those new creative ideas, the conversation can get very complicated.
That's true. Sometimes a coworker will explain a new idea and I just can't follow what they're saying. The details are too confusing.
It happens to everyone.
There is a fantastic phrase learners can use in this exact situation. Instead of giving up, you can say, could you break that down for me?
I love that phrase because it gives the learner so much power. To break something down means to take a very big, complicated idea and divide it into smaller, easier pieces.
It's incredibly useful. If someone is teaching me how to use a complicated new computer system and I feel completely lost, I'll say, can you break that down for me?
It's a great request.
It tells them they need to slow down and explain things step by step. It shows that I'm interested, but I just need the information delivered in a simpler way.
It really does. You are taking control of your learning process. And that actually brings us to the next stage of our language journey.
The next stage.
Yes. Once we are comfortable with our daily talk and our workplace conversations, we reach the point where we need to express bigger, more complex thoughts.
This is the advanced level. This happens in important professional situations. Maybe you have to lead a big meeting or present a report to the whole company. I know a lot of learners get very nervous at this stage.
It is a big step.
They wonder how they can sound professional without getting tangled up in extremely confusing grammar.
That's a very common fear. People think that advanced English means using the longest words and the most difficult grammar structures, but that isn't true at all.
It isn't.
No. Advanced communication is actually about clarity. It's about taking a complex thought and expressing it clearly and efficiently. You just need the right vocabulary words to do the heavy lifting for you.
I totally agree. It's about being clear, not confusing. Let's look at some of this advanced professional vocabulary.
Okay, let's do it.
Here's a situation from my schedule last Tuesday. I had a meeting at 9 o'clock. As soon as it finished, I had another meeting at 10 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
And when that finished, I had a third meeting at 11 o'clock. I didn't even have time to stand up and get a glass of water.
That sounds like an exhausting morning. In the business world, we describe that schedule by saying you had back-to-back meetings.
Back to back. It means one event happens immediately after another event, with absolutely no break in between.
Exactly. It's a very clear, professional way to explain why you are so busy or why you might be feeling tired.
It's very useful.
You can have back-to-back classes at university or back-to-back appointments at a clinic. It paints a very clear picture of a busy day. Here's another advanced word I hear frequently in a professional setting: simultaneously. That's a good one.
It's quite a long word, and, it can look intimidating on paper, but the concept is actually very simple.
It is a long word, but its meaning is very straightforward. Simultaneously just means doing two or more things at the exact same time.
I think this word represents modern life perfectly. We are always doing things simultaneously.
We really are.
For example, in the evening, I might be cooking dinner on the stove, and simultaneously I'm listening to a podcast on my phone.
That's a great everyday example. You are performing both actions at the exact same moment.
And it works for business too.
Yes. In a business setting, a company might launch a new product in Europe and Asia simultaneously. It just means it's happening at the same time.
That's a really powerful word to have in your vocabulary.
Yeah.
There's one more word I want to discuss in this professional section.
Sure. What is it?
I think this might be the most important word for anyone working in an English-speaking environment. The word is concise.
Oh, concise is a beautiful concept. It means communicating your point clearly and briefly without using any unnecessary words.
Why is being concise so valued in the professional world?
Mainly because time is very limited. In business, everyone is busy. If you write an email to your team, it should be concise.
So, keeping it short.
Yes. You want to deliver the necessary information quickly. You don't want to write 5 long paragraphs if you can say the same thing in 3 short sentences. People appreciate it when you respect their time.
That is so true. I know that if I open an email and it looks like a long novel, I'll often put it aside to read later.
Exactly. We all do that.
But a concise email gets read immediately. So if a manager says, please keep your presentation concise, they're asking you to get straight to the point. Skip the unnecessary details.
Yes, absolutely. And being concise is a wonderful goal for English learners, too. You really don't need a massive vocabulary to sound smart or professional.
That's good news for learners.
Clear, short, and accurate sentences are almost always better than long, complicated ones.
Simple and clear always wins. So let's look at the house we've built today.
It's a strong house.
We started with our strong foundation of simple everyday sentences at home. Then we opened the door and learned medium phrases for our friends in our workplace.
And then the roof.
Right. Finally, we learned advanced vocabulary to express our complex thoughts clearly and concisely.
We've covered a lot of important concepts today, but just knowing these words and understanding these analogies isn't enough to make you a fluent speaker.
That's the hard truth, isn't it? You can listen to this conversation and understand every single word, but how do you make sure you don't forget it all by tomorrow? What is the real secret to success? The final and arguably the most important lesson is this. Speaking English is exactly like physical exercise. You mean like going to the gym and lifting weights?
Yes, it works on the exact same principle. Imagine you want to get stronger. You go to the gym on Monday and you exercise for 5 straight hours. You work incredibly hard.
Okay.
But then you don't go back to the gym for a whole month. Are you going to get stronger?
No, of course not. You'll just be very sore on Tuesday, and then your muscles will go back to being weak.
Right.
Your body needs regular, repeated exercise to actually change and grow.
Your brain and your mouth muscles act the exact same way. You need to practice regularly to see real, permanent results. Consistency is everything.
So, a little bit every day.
Yes. Practicing for just a little bit every single day is much more effective than studying for 4 hours once a week. If you can dedicate just 10 minutes every day to speaking English out loud, your brain will change completely.
I've seen this happen with so many learners. The students who make the fastest progress aren't the ones studying grammar books all weekend.
No, they aren't.
The fastest learners are the ones who practice a little bit every morning. Let's give our listeners a practical routine. If they want to start this daily exercise, what exactly should they do?
The routine is simple, but you have to commit to it. First, find a quiet place where you feel comfortable and safe.
Okay, a quiet place.
Second, eliminate all distractions. Put your phone in another room or put it on silent. Turn off the television. Your brain needs complete focus to build these new neural pathways.
No phones. Got it.
And third, take a few simple sentences and repeat them out loud at least twice. You have to use your real, full voice. Whispering doesn't work the same way.
Find a quiet space, remove distractions, and speak clearly out loud. It sounds almost too easy, but I know how powerful it is.
It's powerful because you are building a habit. When speaking English becomes a daily physical habit, the words will start to come out of your mouth naturally.
That's amazing.
You will eventually stop translating from your native language in your head.
And that is the ultimate dream for every language learner. To speak freely without having to stop and translate every single thought. This daily exercise really is the path to get there.
It truly is.
We sincerely hope you try this technique. Before we say goodbye today, I want to leave you with one small challenge.
What's the challenge for today?
Sometime today, I encourage you to just talk to yourself out loud in English. You don't need a study partner.
I love that.
Maybe you are in the kitchen cooking dinner, or maybe you were driving in your car alone. Just look around and describe what you were doing in simple English.
It's very easy to do.
You could say, I'm cutting the carrots, or I'm stopping at the red light.
That is a brilliant idea. It's a very low-stress way to practice. It helps you notice how your mouth and your brain feel when they're working together to create English sounds.
Yes, give it a try today and just pay attention to how it feels. Thank you for listening to the English Echo.
Keep practicing English every day.
Small steps can make a big difference.
See you in the next episode.